you must have gotten this 1,000 times already, and this is a topic that has been really talked about. Um, Ali Tareen, first of all, I'd like your 2 cents on it. In order to make PSL a bigger brand, in order to draw in more of the big bucks, do you think the auction model is something that should definitely be considered? Because of course everything comes down to the money and the auction model. There were talks a couple of years as well, PSL might move towards, the auction style of things, and it has proven to be so successful in other leagues. Do you think that this is something that the PCB will at any time, or should they consider? Because obviously it does lead to a lot more money coming in.
No, I don't think so. I think this is a misunderstanding of the auction model. So, if the concern is that if we don't pay the players, certain amount of money, they won't come. That's fine. In the draft model, आपको जो top tier platinum, आप उसको double कर दो, आप उसको triple कर लो. You can increase the आपका अगर gold है, you can pay them double, you can pay the platinum double, and you're suddenly paying them similar values to IPL. You'll have these in IPL mein hota, you have these one-off players who are getting in the millions, but the average across the league and the players that we're paying a similar amount. The question is only how much should you pay the top players, and whether that's the auction model as an average or whether that's the category model. बात तो वही है. And it's not about, I think, bringing value to a league is not कि आपने चलो एक player को बहुत पैसे दे दिए, because I think the most exciting part about PSL are the people who come and make huge impacts. For example, in recent years, last 2 years, one of the most exciting players the PSL has had, two of them. One is Will Smeed for Quetta. One is Harry Brooks for Lahore Qalandars. Were these guys the big multi-million contracts? No, they weren't. They were the young, exciting guns out of nowhere, came and lit up stadiums, and people loved it. Were they happy we have these established names coming in, or were these young guns more exciting? At least for me, I think Harry Brook and Will Smeed and these guys were way more exciting than the more established players coming in the league.
Even somebody like Tim David coming in, somebody like Tim David coming into the PSL and then going to the IPL and being the highest sold player. So that really shows you where the graph is going.
And to the earlier point about the future of PSL, I know Ali was talking about it earlier about we have to focus on the PSL and has to be profitability. I don't agree with this. I think the future of any professional league, whether it's football, whether it's cricket in the IPL, any of these things, it didn't change when they started investing abroad. It changed when institutional money started coming in the game. It's when these big institutional investors from abroad, from the US, from these investment groups, they started investing in teams. Once this inflow of large amounts of capital comes in, that's when your thinking changes. So, Abhi, for example, we're talking about, PSL. Ideally, every franchise should have its own stadium, and then they can do, more fan engagement. They can do more activities. Abhi, we're looking at the PCB. The PCB has own 6 stadiums. Abhi, the Multan Stadium, it's leased to the PCB from the local government. So if we want to say, listen, as Multan Sultans, we want to make some changes, PCB can't authorize it because the local government, Multan ke DC ko phone karna padega ki yaar, actually hum ye kar rahe hain. It has to go through the board, then has to go. Ho nahi sakta. It's only when every team has enough institutional money coming in, ideally in dollars, that you can say, every team is going to build our own stadium. Once we build our own stadium, we're going to put in VR, we're going to put in motion detection, we're going to put in, fan engagement booths and activities, and we're going to rent it out for events and so on, so on, so on. That's when you have money to say, okay, because we have so much money coming in, investing in this team, now this holding company is going to invest in a team abroad. So it's not the original owners who are investing in teams abroad and expanding it. The original people like Ali Naqvi and the pioneers who started PSL brought it up to a certain level. The next step, as Ali was saying, the 2.0 version is when international investment comes in any startup. And that's when you go global and you start thinking big. Because you have the money coming in, you start thinking, actually, PL mera theek ja raha, but in the next 10 years, I'm going to invest this much capital in a stadium here, in a training facility here, in a team in the US, a team in South Africa. And in those 10 years, I'm going to build my base here. And that's the value I will deliver to my shareholders and the value I'll give back. That's when things start changing. And in the IPL, look at the values. The values aren't the original owners. How many of the original owners still own 100%? It's all with the new international capital going in. So I feel the the next step for PSL is international investors coming in, joining with the original founding investors, taking a percentage, maybe it's a majority percentage, and together growing the pie and becoming a global brand. That's in my view, is the future of PSL.